I'm Janeane. This is KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and this is Get the Funk Out. Standing by to join me, I heard a giggle.
I did.
Standing by to join me is LaPage of the FEMME International Film Festival. And she's not just from the FEMME International Film Festival. You have a whole wide array of experiences, which I'm looking forward to chatting about.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's crazy. And anything that has a funk in it, I already love. But we've chatted before, so,
Oh, I know.
I have great affinity for you.
Well, who isn't in a funk right now? I mean, with everything going on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a wide, wacky world out there right now. Yeah. And for the film industry, there's states that haven't opened up yet. So filming is still locked down. But, my son is an actor, so he's still doing, virtual taping and virtual auditions. But the festivals and everything relating to film has just completely pivoted.
Right. I had a casting director I was chatting with, and she was saying how, everything's remote and they were hoping to get back in. Right. And now it's changed again, where it's still going to be remote. It's not going to be in person.
It's not going to be in person. And frankly, the industry was already shifting that way in the auditioning aspect, right?
Right.
So we had seen a whole bunch more self-tapes coming through just over the last 2 to 3 years, and very little in-person auditions unless it was for something really big, right?
Sure.
But now I think they're just going to cut that out completely, and I don't know if we're ever going to go back to the real in-person auditions.
I know.
For that.
Right.
Yeah, and even the film festival, on my side, this is the third film festival I've launched, but it's my film festival. We've been in existence for 16 years. And when March closed down, well, California and the world closed down in March, right. I was already going, oh my God. I'm already hyperventilating.
Of course.
What's going to happen? Yeah, right. But I platform in October, and I thought, hey, no problem. By October, we'll be done.
Sure.
It'll be fine. Everything's back to normal. And now I'm sitting in almost August, and we've had to pivot this year completely.
Yes.
So this is the first and only year, at least I say only, hoping that by first quarter of first quarter of next year, things will actually get back to normal.
Yeah.
But if they're really expecting a second wave coming in October and November, my fear was, hey, we'd be at a theater, and then all of a sudden the governor would go, sorry, you're closed. Right?
No, I mean, everything has to be screened online. I mean, there's going to have to be a different way of doing
everything. It. But you know what? Here's the interesting thing. I looked at it as an opportunity as soon as I embraced.
Good. That's good.
I got through my fear, and I embraced it from a standpoint of a business owner and somebody who really is trying to support women producers, writers, and directors, because that's what FEMME International Film Festival is all about.
Yes.
I said, okay, now how can we make it better? How can we open this up globally? How can we offer something that these other festivals are not offering? Because we are and have always been a maverick in what we've done. We were the first to get bloody up against the brick wall, supporting women producers, writers, and directors when everyone was saying, what? Women don't make anything
directors?
other than romantic comedy, right? That's all we could do.
Sure.
As filmmakers. So, we've always gotten bloody up against the wall being the maverick. So here's what's really interesting. I'm like, okay, we're going to do table readings this year for the winning feature and the winning TV pilot, which is great because now we can open it up globally. And these filmmakers, these screenplay writers and teleplay writers actually get to hear their script on its feet.
I like that.
We have right? And then we also have a really huge educational panel, which we will have 6 panels going from marketing and distribution, creating that proof of concept reel, and how do you segue that into actually real money? Where do you go and who are really asking for female content creators and writers and who's hiring them, like which production companies. So we've got
Excellent.
6 really dynamite educational panels that we're going to be offering, online, which we would normally do on the ground, but now we get to open it up globally. And then
I think you'll get more people watching.
I'm going, okay, well, how are we? Right,
I think
exactly.
You'll definitely get more people watching.
Right, you get way more people watching. And then I'm looking at, okay, how can we create this online award show thing, where we still give out the awards and we get to have like 2 or 3 minutes of a conversation with the people. So we're trying to flesh that out right now.
I like that.
Yeah. And we're going to do some other doodads. We've got 2 special screenings, which will be talent hosted, filmmaker hosted, Q&A afterwards, which we can do all online with, one of our platform partners. So, I'm really embracing this whole aspect. And then I'm looking at, wow, next year when we go back on the ground, right? Fingers crossed and everything goes back to normal. How can we keep that component moving forward to really give that component that worldwide ability for people to tap in, China, in Japan, in Korea, in Australia, in Canada, if they are not coming to the On the Ground Festival, but still want to partake. So we're going to have an online component for next year. I don't know what it looks like yet. But but people are really getting a giggle and good feelings out of this.
Well, you've made people feel optimistic. You've brought optimism and creativity, and you've pivoted big time.
Big time, like a total pivot. But I did it with, and I think a lot of film festivals took the negative aspect of, oh gosh, we have to do this. And that was definitely my first gut reaction. I'm like, ah! But then I embraced the challenge and said, okay, how can we do it better? How can we do it bigger? How can we do it globally? And how can we really offer something that we wouldn't be able to offer if it was just the pure on the ground element? So,
I think you've made it even better, because of what you're up against.
I think it will be, I'm still fleshing things out as we go on the fly.
Of course.
And we screen October 15th through the 18th. So even during the actual time frame of our weekend that we would normally be on the ground, all the films, which we normally host about 110. And this year, I'm going to see if we can expand that and go more.
Good.
Allowing some more films that we may not have been able to select due to time frame and limitations, open that up a bit. But people buying a ticket will be able to see all the films anytime, 2:00 in the morning, whenever they want. It won't be restricted to an actual time, except for the special screenings and the other doodads that we have offering.
Right.
But the actual film going experience of seeing all these global films will be open during that 4-day time frame, starting at 12:01 October 15th and ending at 11:59 October 18th. And people will be down for the ride.
Well, excuse me, because when you think about, I know usually you could only see a film at a certain time on a certain day, and now you can just manage your time, and when you want to watch, you watch.
Yeah. Right. And then you can popcorn watch, right? You can binge watch, which I think will
also happen. You can Haagen-Dazs watch, anything.
You can Haagen-Dazs and Guinness, man. The combo. A meal in a bottle and your fixation. So you'll be able to do that. And then we're also offering everything recorded. So after the festival, people will be able to tap in for, whatever it is and see all the seminars again. So there's some really cool doodads that we're going to be, doing.
And instead of sitting in the back because it's so crowded in a live event, you get to be up close, see what people look like, interact. I mean, it's wild. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know, we're still fleshing out some other things, but it's going to be really exciting. I think it'll be a
Good.
really global, exciting event that we will be offering to anyone that wants to tap in.
Good.
So yeah, so it's a good thing. It's a bad thing and a good, you know, it's a good thing coming out of a strenuous, strainful worldwide craziness
Right.
that we're spinning into a creative, positive way.
But you're still, you basically went into turbo mode, and you're completely
Yeah.
supporting these women. I mean, I'm a writer, and I know that writing has kept me so positive. I mean, just last night I sat down and I was working on something, and when you walk away after 2 hours, you feel so lit up because
Right.
you've entered into this storyline that you believe in, and I want it to be touching, and it's all female leads, and it's exciting, and it's nice to have that kind of outlet in a time when there's so much uncertainty and
Right.
negativity.
There's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of negativity, and
Yeah.
it's so easy to get sucked into that. But, you know, my philosophy has always been, if you want a career, you have to keep that positive attitude. You have to keep, you know, the little engine that could,
Yeah.
the, you know, just don't let that little old ant, you know, nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
You have to keep chanting that positiveness, and you have to keep the creativity going. You know, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a producer. So we are producing 2 films from actually one of our previous alumni.
Great.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to launching those sometime in the first quarter of 2021. So we have that going on as well as, you know, I'm launching this crazy 16-year film festival. I've done this film festival pregnant, shooting in foreign countries. I've done
Wow.
this film festival every which way you could do this film festival.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
never thought a pandemic
Never.
would, you know, ever. Like this was screenplay stuff, not
Oh, I
something
know.
that
I
ever
always
could
say to people,
materialize.
you could never have written a script like this.
No,
Right?
never. Right.
Like, oh,
Like,
and then this happened and
couldn't have
that
thought it.
happened.
Well, they did, but right. Well, they did actually. There's a show that's very similar to it on Netflix, but even they were ahead of the game,
Yes.
thinking that this would, you know,
Oh, I know.
could potentially happen. But we didn't actually think it would really happen. It was just
No.
in our creativity, of thinking
Right.
this. So
Yeah, I'll just tell you
yeah,
as an aside, March, I was supposed to potentially be in New York and Westport, Connecticut at the end of March and doing
right.
talks on self-care and resilience and all this stuff. And then I decided not to go and do it remotely. And then I found out that Westport got hit really hard with COVID. And then New York City got
Right.
hit at the same time I was supposed to be there. And I was thinking, man, no one would have predicted this, as you said.
No one would have predicted this.
And spring breakers in Florida going, it's COVID.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So where does this really leave us? I mean, it really puts a whole different spin on where I think the entertainment industry is going to go. The theaters are struggling. Some have declared bankruptcy to kind of trim the fat and then relaunch probably under the same branding. Agents are being let go. How are they going to pivot? Does that mean that these agents at CAA and all the staffers are going to open up management companies? Are they going to be producers? I mean, you know, so there's a lot of weird and wackiness happening right now. And I always advise, because I teach college as well in entertainment, and I always advise the kids, you have to stay up on what's happening, because you can project the trends of where we're going to be going. Are we going to be going back into the theaters when they reopen? Or is there a flood of people that are going to say, oh my gosh, thank gosh, I get to get out of my house and go see a movie in a movie theater? Or are they not going to do that and keep watching stuff on their phone and their screen and
what they get used to, doing everything they're used to now?
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there'll still be a fear factor, and I don't know if
Yeah.
people are going to flood the gates to the movie theaters.
I don't think so. It
Yeah,
depends what generation, maybe.
maybe. I mean, my son is a Gen Z / Alpha, but on the lower end of Gen Z, and and he's an actor, and he doesn't go to the movie theaters to see. I mean, everything is watched on his phone.
Right.
He watches everything on his phone. He doesn't watch ABC, NBC broadcast. He's watching everything streaming. So
Streaming. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, one thing I want to bring up is when you talk about agencies like CAA and ICM and all closing, at least, and I heard they might reopen in 2021, but nobody knows. For the actors that now don't have agents, then they're scrambling to find work, and
Right.
maybe they're not even going to, and they're going to have to pivot into something else.
Maybe they're going to pivot into self-launching their own careers
Web
and
series.
projects.
Yeah.
Possibly, become hybrids if they weren't already hybrids. Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting over the next 6 months where this plays out. I know that New Mexico is starting to consider reopening for filming, and they're planning on doing that sometime in August, mid-August. So if they start the trend, I think the rest of the other states with certain protocols will start that movie trend going again.
That would be good.
That would be definitely very good, because we all need to start working.
Right. What advice would you give to people that are out of work right now? I mean, what do you do specifically to take care of yourself, to stay out of that funk or deal with a funk?
Well, I think the creatives are way more sensitive. And so if we don't put ourselves in a creative space, taking a walk around the block, sitting outside, even in your little patch of cement or little patch of yard, and closing your eyes and hearing the noises of nature or cars passing by or whatever, where it brings you out of your body.
Yes.
And puts you in that universal energy. And if we can do that, then inherently that lifts, the human being's spirit, all by nature wanting to be social.
Yeah.
And even closing your eyes and listening to a bird in your backyard brings your attention off of yourself and onto something that's more global, right?
Yes.
More natural.
I want to share a little something with you. I wrote this piece in Thrive Global about how gardening is just not about what you grow, but how it makes you feel. So I went through tough times where all I grew were weeds. And now, I'll throw in scraps and I'm like, oh, that looks like a squash, or whatever. The point is, especially as a creative, to go and do something else that has completely nothing to do with what you love to do, but is a good diversion and feeds your soul.
Right.
Yeah.
Fixing that piece of furniture that has been broken that you always wanted to reupholster.
Yes.
Now's the time. Painting your bedroom a different color because you've always wanted it blue.
Yeah.
Get the paint out. Start painting. Anything that takes you away from the nattering, which creatives have a tendency to do, of I'm not worth it, or I can't do it, or the I can'ts.
Yes.
It's the I can'ts that kill you. Even my son, lovely, talented actor, has the I can't, and I go, no. It is I can. How can I?
Right.
How do we? You don't have time as a creative to say the I can'ts, because if you don't, then guess what? All those films that are being made are not going to be made.
It's true.
Because the I can't gets in the way.
Right.
And go ahead.
There's so much rejection in this business. Let's face it. Acting, writing. You have to keep going and have thick skin.
Completely thick skin. You have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. And many, many years may pass where no one believes in you, but you have to keep that moving forward. I mean, when I started the film festival in 2005, I was told no one would come. Why would anyone come to see a film festival where women are creating content or about women? Like, why would anyone?
Oh, come on.
I know.
Obviously that was a guy, right?
It was many, many men. Yes.
Yeah.
But I also
Women
got that
too?
from some females. Well, yeah,
Really? Wow.
where they said, there's no market for it. You won't have sponsors. People won't attend something like this.
Come
And
on.
I know it was so, if I had listened, it would have definitely killed me. But, my gut reaction was, oh, yeah. Well, I'll prove you wrong.
I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll show you. And then started, going towards that brick wall, and I'm like, wow, the brick wall's really hard. and I'm getting like bruised and bloodied, but
you're still going.
But I'm still going, yeah, because, I'm thick-headed and thick-skinned. And
No, but I could always imagine you as a little girl being like, I'll show you, and I'm just going to keep going. And I made
I've always
skateboarding, but, yeah. That's you, right?
That is really me. I mean, even when I was, and you say skateboarding, my mother said, no, you cannot do a skateboard. And I said, oh, yeah. And I took the skateboard down a hill and then broke my arm because I fell off.
But you did it.
But I did it, and then I went back because I was like, I'm not going to let that hill beat me and break my arm.
Good.
So yeah, it's always been a line of defense in me, where it just irritates me when somebody says, no, you can't do it. Primarily because I'm a woman. They wouldn't have said it so much if I was a guy. No offense to the boys out there listening. We love you. We love you. But, there was a little bit of you can't do it because of your gender.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I wanted to say that I feel like the people that are watching this or listening, and who are creative, that to leave something in this world that's a legacy, especially right now, that can touch people's lives, that can have diverse voices, diverse talent, is such a meaningful thing you can do. So just because one person might not like your script doesn't mean other people won't. And it's just a gift to create something right now, something meaningful.
It is. I mean, took 10 years to do Forrest Gump, took another 10 years to do Dallas Buyers Club. I mean, the list goes on of how many times they said no, but the filmmakers hung on and believed in their project and themselves and got it done eventually, right?
Yeah.
Even Hatfields and McCoy's, the miniseries, the guy had the script, wrote the script 30 years ago. Took him 30 years to make it.
That's a long time.
It had been optioned 4 or 5 times. The last producer loved it, finally was able to get it to Kevin Costner. And within weeks of getting it to Kevin, he said, yes, we're doing it. And bam, it got done. But the script was written 30 years ago. So if you don't believe in yourself, nothing will happen. You have to believe in yourself, because there's so many people saying no. The negativity is out there and will swallow you whole if you allow it.
Yes, definitely. I think it's a great time to just, as you said, go outside, but also let your mind be open to the possibilities of creating different things, whether you're doing it on your phone or you're writing an idea for a script. Just be open to what's around you.
Yeah. And I do something that just calms my mind and quiets my mind. And if you can quiet your mind, then those creative ideas come in and you go, oh my gosh, that's how that scene should be, or that's the spin on the idea, or that's an idea I haven't seen. Which a lot of, I think, filmmakers don't often do when they're writing, when they're hybrid writing, directing their own content. They're so worried about getting that content out there that they don't take a moment to think, is it really a unique idea? Is it really a new reimagining of an idea that we've seen? If they put a little bit more focus in on that, then even in the independent world, we would see much more ability of those films to get legs and get distribution, which is really the hardest part of filmmaking. Is once you have your film entity, even from the standpoint of seeing hundreds and hundreds of films from the film festival side, when we help or offer production or producing, repping to help that filmmaker get into distribution, we have to be kind of cognizant of, have we seen this idea before? Does this have legs? Will this, get purchased? Is this a good reimagining, of this niche, to help that filmmaker get it into distribution?
Yeah.
So, I'm currently working on a way where we can assist filmmakers that weren't successful in securing distribution, but have good films getting their product out there. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. You'll have to be back on my show then.
I will.
Where can people find out more about you and the film festival?
They can tap on to www.lafemme.org, LAFEMME.org, and that is our website. They can click on Film Freeway. They can click and still submit. They can still submit until August 19th. And I can send you a code. You can send it out to your people, a discount code, so they can enjoy that. And then around the third week in August, we'll be open for selling tickets for this lovely online experience.
Exciting. And you accept all kinds of things, from pilots, shorts?
We do TV pilots, scripts. We do feature film scripts. Then we have music videos, commercial, web series, documentaries, short docs, animated films, short animated films, features, and full-length documentaries, along with shorts. So we have the entire gamut.
That's great.
We've got the entire gamut.
Fantastic.
So we're really excited.
So exciting. Any last bit of info you want to leave the listeners with?
The times are changing, and because they are changing, you just need to stay positive and believe in yourself and keep creating. This is your time to create that script. This is your time to figure out a way of how to shoot something and get it out there. So don't let life and this crazy time discourage you. Look at it as an opportunity to be creative and project you and your talent out into the universe.
You bet. Leslie, this has been great.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And, listeners, tap on into www.lafemme.org.
You bet. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Great chatting with you.
Thanks. Bye.